Good morning, dear students. Last class we studied what is ideal gas, what is a real gas, what are the deviations of real gases from ideal behavior, what is the cause of deviation. Here we are going to discuss what is the difference between ideal gas, real gas. Then after we are going to discuss what are the different types of molecular velocities and what is liquefaction of gases. So first come to the point, the difference between ideal gas and real gas. So ideal gas is a gas which obeys all the gas laws under all conditions of temperature and pressure. Actually, this type of gas does not exist, that is only the hypothetical concept. And real gases which actually exist. And that's show ideal behavior at low pressure and high temperature. So they obey the real gases which are that which actually exist, and they obey the ideal gas equation, so ideal behavior at low pressure and high temperature. And in ideal gas, the volume of a gas molecule is negligible as compared to the total volume of the gas. And for real gas, the volume of a gas molecule cannot be neglected as compared to the total volume of the gas, total volume of gas. And there is no force of attraction between the gas molecules, or the force of attraction between the gas molecules is negligible in ideal gas, but then real gases the force of attraction cannot be neglected. It can be neglected if the temperature is high and the pressure is low. But in the opposite condition, that is when the temperature is low and the pressure is high, at that time cannot neglect the volume of a gas molecule. And the ideal gas generally obeys the ideal gas equation PV equal to nRT, and the real gases they obeys the van der Waals equation of state, that is P plus a n square by v square into v minus nb is equal to nRT. So write down these points of difference. Next come to Maxwell's distribution of velocities, or in some book it is given the Maxwell distribution of speeds. So we know that gases are consist of molecules, and molecules are not stationary, they are always moving with some velocity. So when they are moving, they collide with each other as well as they collide with the walls of the container. So during this collision, as the collision is perfectly elastic, during this collision the speed of or the velocities of the molecules goes on changing. So it is not sure that all the molecules possesses the same velocities, but some molecules possesses the same velocities. So if there are so many number of molecules, n number of molecules, and among them del n is the small fraction of the molecules which possesses a particular type of velocities. If n is the total number of molecules and del n is the small fraction of molecules which possesses a particular type of velocities. And if we draw the curve between this del n by n versus the molecular velocities, the nature of the curve is found to be like this. So from this, it is concluded that this is the del n by n, this is the molecular velocities. Very small number of molecules possesses the lower velocities, and very small number of molecule possesses the higher velocities. Very small number of molecules possesses, this is the del n by n value here small, and here the del n by n value is small, but the velocity value is high, and here the velocity value is low. So in this way, very small fraction of molecules possesses lower velocities and very small molecules, number of molecules or fraction of molecules possesses higher velocities. And the velocities of molecules goes on increasing, reaches at a maximum, and it goes on decreasing. The velocity of the molecules goes on increasing, reaches at a maximum, and then decreases. Okay, so in this way, the maximum fraction, here is the maximum fraction that represents the maximum fraction of the molecules which possesses the velocity, the maximum fraction of the molecules corresponding to the peak of the curve, the maximum fraction of the molecules corresponding to the peak of the curve represents the most probable velocity. So this velocity is known as, what is the velocity here? It is known as your alpha. So what is this alpha? This alpha is known as most probable velocity. Most probable velocity. So the maximum fraction of molecules possesses the velocity that is known as most probable velocity. And if we increase the temperature, then all the molecules get more kinetic energy and they move with a higher velocity. In this way, the nature of the curve also remains the same, but it slightly changes. Okay, so look here. If all the molecules the temperature increases, then all the molecules get more energy, and as a result their velocity increases. So as the velocity increases, the nature of the curve may appear like this. Just that it just decreases, but all the molecules get this type of. So this is at temperature T1 and this is at temperature T2 and T2 greater than T1. Okay, so this is the nature of the curve. So from this curve we concluded that with increase in temperature, the velocity of this molecule increases. The most probable velocity also increases. Here this is known as the most probable velocity. When the temperature increases, now this highest peak represents the most probable velocity. The most probable velocity also increases. So with increase in temperature, the velocity of the molecule increases. So what are the points of this Maxwell distribution curve? Actually this is given by Boltzmann and Maxwell, two scientists. So very few molecules possesses lower velocities, very high molecules possesses higher velocities, and the velocities possessed by the maximum fraction of molecule is known as most probable velocities. And with increase in temperature, the velocities of the molecule increases as well as the most probable velocity also increases. So note down these points. So first note down these points, just introduction of that. Maxwell and Boltzmann, as a result of studies, have shown that all molecules in a certain gas may not have the similar velocities. That means all have the different velocities. It is not okay. So some of them possesses the similar velocities. If n is the number of molecules present in a gas, out of which del n molecules have the same velocities, then the fraction of molecules having the same velocity is given as del n by n. So Maxwell plotted a graph between the different values of the velocities and the corresponding molecular fraction. So here del n by n molecular fraction and here molecular velocities. Okay. So as a result, we found a curve. So from this curve, the curve formed is known as Maxwell distribution curve. From this curve, the following observations are made. So note down again what are the observation points. So note down these points. The fraction of molecules having either very low velocity or high velocities is very small. The fraction of molecules possessing higher and higher velocities keeps on increasing, reaches a maximum and then decreases. Okay. The velocity possessed by the maximum fraction of molecules corresponding to the peak of the curve, maximum fraction of molecules corresponding to the peak of the curve, and that is known as most probable velocity. What is the velocity? That is known as most probable velocity. And as the temperature is constant, the fraction of molecules possessing the most probable velocity remains constant. But with increasing temperature, all the molecules get more energy. In this way, the fraction of molecules possessing the higher velocities also increases, as well as the most probable velocity also increases. So note down these points. Next come to different types of velocities. So there are three types of molecular velocities. One is known as most probable velocities, another known as average velocity, another known as RMS velocity, root mean square velocity. So first come to most probable velocity. Most probable velocity, also known as represented as alpha, or it may represent as UMP. Okay, so this is the maximum fraction of molecules possessing the velocities is known as most probable velocities. The maximum fraction of molecules possessing the velocity, the maximum fraction of molecule from Maxwell distribution curve already we know, the maximum fraction of molecules possessing the velocity is known as most probable velocity. Is known as most probable velocity. So the maximum fraction of molecules possessing the velocity is known as represented as most probable velocity, represented as alpha or UMP, and mathematically this can be represented as UMP, most probable, is equal to 2RT by M root over, where R is universal gas constant, T is the temperature, absolute temperature, and M is the molecular mass of the gas. Okay. Next come to another type of velocity, it is known as your average velocity. Represented as V1, represented as V1, or it may be represented as UAV. So this is the arithmetic mean of velocities of all the molecules. This is the arithmetic mean of velocities of all the molecules is known as average velocity, or the average value of all these velocities is known as average velocity. So it is the average of velocities of different molecules in a gas at a particular temperature, or it is the arithmetic mean of velocities of different molecules of a gas at a particular temperature. It is represented by UAV. Suppose there are different molecules, the molecules 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to n, and they have velocities V1, V2, V3, V4 up to Vn. Then the U average, that is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3 Vn divided by n. So this is the average velocity. Similarly, if N1 molecules possesses V1 velocities, N2 molecules possesses V2 velocities, and N3 molecules possesses V3 velocities, then the average velocity U average represented as N1 V1 plus N2 V2 plus N3 V3 divided by N1 plus N2 plus N3. So in this way, if all the molecules possesses individual velocities, then you have to apply this formula. And if some molecules possesses a particular type of velocities, that is N1 possesses V1, N2 possesses V2, N3 represents V3, then average velocity N1, N2, N3 like this. And this is also related with this temperature. We can represent another way. This U average, the average velocity, can also represent it as UAV. This 8 RT by pi m root over. So 8 RT by pi m. R is the universal gas constant, T is the absolute temperature, pi 22 by 7 or 3.14, and m is the molecular mass of the gas. It is related with absolute temperature and molecular mass by the relation U average equal to 8 RT by pi m. Okay, so note down these points. Next, another type of velocity known as RMS velocity or root mean square velocity. So it is the square root of means of the squares of square root of means of the squares of different velocities possessed by the different molecules in a gas at a particular temperature. Suppose there are different molecules 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to n, and they have velocities v1, v2, v3, v4 like this. Then the RMS velocity U RMS, this is the square root of means of v1 plus v2 plus v3 plus the means of the squares of v1, v2, v3, v2, this is up to vn square divided by n. This is the square root of mean of squares of all the velocities possessed by different molecules of a gas. And suppose N1 molecules possesses V1 velocities, N2 molecules possesses V2 velocities, N3 molecules possesses V3 velocities, then how we can determine the RMS velocity? Then we can determine the RMS velocity, that is N1 V1 square, N2 V2 square, N3 V3 square plus divided by total number of molecules. This is the square, then mean the squares, then mean of squares of and the square root of mean of square of all the velocities. And this RMS velocities is also related with temperature and molecular mass by the equation U RMS equal to 3 RT by m root over. And we know for 1 mole of gas PV equal to RT in this way. So in this way, for 1 mole of gas PV equal to RT. So this implies that U RMS can also represent it as 3 PV by m. Okay, so we can represent the different types of velocities. Now comes to what is the relationship between these different types of velocities. So relation between different velocities. U most probable is to U, then given average is to U RMS, and the particular temperature and molecular mass, we know this is equal to 2 RT by m root over, this is 8 RT by pi m root over, and this is 3 RT by m root over. If R is the universal gas constant, T at a particular temperature, and m is the molecular mass of certain gas, then only you are going to find out the root 2 is to 8 by pi root is to root 3. And this is 8.5 nearly 2.55. So if we find out their value, then we can find the ratio between them is 1 is to 1.128 is to 1.224. This is the relation between these three types of velocities. And another relationship is also there. U average that is equal to 0.92 into U RMS. Just put these values. Average 8 RT by pi m equal to 3 RT by m. Find this ratio and you can find out U average equal to 0.92 U RMS. Similarly, if you find the relation between U MP and U RMS, just find out the ratio between 2 RT by m and 3 RT by m. Root over of 2 RT by m, root over of 3 RT by m, or simply root 2 is to root 3. So if you find out the ratio between root 2 and root 3, and you find out another relation, what is that? That is U most probable is equal to 0.82 U RMS. U most probable equal to 0.82 RMS and U average equal to 0.92 RMS. If one type of velocity is given, then you can determine what is the another type of velocities. Okay. Next, come to another point, that is liquefaction of gases. So gases are generally compressible in nature. There are some gases which are more compressible and there are some gases which are less compressible. So if the gases are more compressible, then a certain condition appears where gases can be liquefied. So generally, this liquefaction of gases depends on the one factor is van der Waals constant A, and also depends on the temperature, pressure and volume. So among them, the most important factor is the temperature. So generally we know when we apply high pressure and low temperature, at low temperature and high pressure, a gas is more compressible and it can be converted into a liquid. That can be made liquid form. So a gaseous form substance can be made a liquid form at high pressure and low temperature. But among them, the most important factor is temperature. So the temperature above which a gas cannot be liquefied whatever pressure we apply. So if we apply more pressure, generally gas can be liquefied. But there is a certain temperature above which whatever pressure you may apply, the gas cannot be liquefied. But below that temperature, that gas can be easily liquefied if you apply a small pressure. So in this way, temperature is an important factor. So the temperature below which a gas can be liquefied easily and above which a gas cannot be liquefied whatever pressure may be applied, that temperature is known as critical temperature. That temperature is known as critical temperature. So represented as Tc. Similarly, that is represented as Tc, known as critical temperature. Similarly, at the critical temperature, what is the minimum pressure applied to the gas so that it can be converted into a liquid form? That is known as its critical pressure. And at critical temperature and critical pressure, what is the volume of 1 mole of gas? That is known as its critical volume, represented as Vc. One example I want to say here about the critical temperature. Carbon dioxide gas can be easily converted to liquid form at 31.1 degrees Celsius. 31.1 degrees Celsius. If the temperature is higher than 31.32 degrees Celsius, that is suppose this is 32 degrees Celsius, and whatever pressure you may apply, if you apply more pressure, then it cannot be converted into liquid form. But at 31.1 degrees Celsius, it can be converted into liquid form. So that is known as critical temperature. And this critical constant, that is Tc or Pc or Vc, these are related with the van der Waals constant A and B. Okay. So now you note down what are the points and what is the relationship between this van der Waals constant and these critical constants. Okay. So look at here. So liquefaction of gases. So actually gases can be liquefied at high pressure or low temperature or combined effect of both. But among them, temperature is the most important factor. Okay, because the temperature up to, so this is constant for, these values are constant for different gases. This is gas to gases. It depends on the nature of the gases. These are constant for different gases have different values of this Tc, Pc and Vc. Okay. So the temperature above which a gas cannot be liquefied, whatever high pressure may be applied, is known as critical temperature. Above which gas cannot be liquefied, below which gas can be liquefied, that is known as Pc. And the minimum pressure is applied at critical temperature to liquefy a gas, that is known as Pc. And what is the volume of 1 mole of gas at critical, what is the volume of 1 mole of gas at critical temperature and critical pressure, that is known as Vc. And these are known as critical constant. This Tc, Pc and Vc, these are known as critical constants, and these are related with van der Waals constant A and B by the relation. So these are related with the van der Waals constant by the relation. So Tc is equal to 8A by 27 Rb, 8A by 27 Rb, that is R is the universal gas constant and B is the van der Waals constant B and A is the van der Waals constant A. Similarly, Pc, this is related with A and B by the relation A by 27 B square, and similarly Vc, it is equal to 3B. So this is the relationship between Tc, the van der Waals constants, and the van der Waals constant. This is the relation between van der Waals constant and critical constant. Look here. So Tc is directly proportional to this van der Waals constant. So another thing I want to say here, that is not only this temperature pressure, this also depends on the nature of the gases. The gases which have strong intermolecular force of attraction, that can be liquefied easily, and they have the high value of A. So the gases which have the high value of van der Waals constant, that are easily liquefied, van der Waals constant A, that are easily liquefied. For example, if we consider about ammonia, about carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide. So ammonia, sulfur dioxide, so these are the polar gases. So this is dipole-dipole interactions. So in this way, these molecules liquefied easily than that of carbon dioxide. Ammonia, sulfur dioxide easily liquefied than that of carbon dioxide. And from that of that is hydrogen and helium, oxygen, nitrogen also. So oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine, then hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. So these gases, these are generally non-polar, and they liquefied with difficulty, and they have the lower value of A, while that of ammonia, the sulfur dioxide, hydrochloric acid, they have higher value of A, and these gases can be liquefied easily. So this is some idea about liquefaction of gases. Next we will discuss some numerical problems. Look at these following numerical problems. Let us solve from last one. At what temperature will helium atoms have same RMS velocity as hydrogen molecules have at 27 degrees Celsius? So, given that U RMS equal to 3 RT by M root over. So, U hydrogen, that is 3 R, and temperature is given 27 degrees Celsius. That means your T is, so T 27 plus 2 73 300 Kelvin. So 3 R and this 300 Kelvin divided by molecular mass of hydrogen, you know, that is 2, and what is UHE, that is 3 RT by helium. So helium has atomic mass, it exists as atom, its atomic mass 4, 3 RT by 4. Now these two are equal, UH2 equal to UHE. So 3 R into 300 by 2 is equal to 3 RT by 4. So 3 cancels. In this way, T is equal to 300 into 4 by 2, 600 Kelvin. So this is 600 Kelvin. So in Celsius, in degree Celsius, this value 600 minus 273 is 327 degrees Celsius. So at 327 degrees Celsius, helium atoms have same RMS velocity as hydrogen molecules have at 27 degrees Celsius. Okay, so in this RMS velocity depends on temperature and molecular mass. Next come to, so note down this, another question, it is calculate the average kinetic energy of 1 mole of carbon dioxide at 450 Kelvin in joules. So it is given about 1 mole, not for a particular gas molecule. In this way it is given, so we know the average kinetic energy is equal to 3 by 2 RT. Average kinetic energy is equal to 3 by 2 RT. So given in joule, and you know what is the value of R in joule? It is 8.314 joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse. Just put, and T given 450 Kelvin. So 3 by 2 into 8.314 joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse, and divided into multiplied by temperature 450 Kelvin. So Kelvin inverse cancels. In this way, this value, just multiply this, we will find 5611.95. 5611.95 joule mole inverse. Okay. So average kinetic energy 3 by 2 RT. If it is given for one molecule, divided by a Polaris number. So for one mole it is given, so joule mole inverse. Okay. Next come to question number 1. The velocities of 6 different molecules in a gas are 25 meter second inverse, 20 meter second inverse, 30 meter second inverse, 15 meter second inverse, 10 meter second inverse, and 20 meter second inverse. Calculate the average velocity and RMS velocity. So if it is given the temperature and molecular mass, then put the formula, that is 8 RT by pi m root of 4. But it is given and the different molecules, the 6 molecules have different velocities. In this way, U average is equal to 25 plus 20 plus 30 plus 15 plus 10 plus 25 divided by total number of molecules 6. Just this is the arithmetic made. If some molecules are there, 225, 25 are there, then just you write them also. Instead of writing all, you can write 2 into 25. So this value, you calculate this and you will find 20.8 meter second inverse. Similarly, U, RMS, if molecular mass and temperature given, different formula. If velocities are given, then different formula. So U RMS is equal to 25 square plus 20 square plus 30 square plus 15 square plus 10 square plus 25 square divided by square root of mean of squares of all the velocities. So find out the square of all, then divide by 6, then find out the square root of this, and you will find this will be 21.88 meter second inverse. So these are some numerical problems relating on the molecular velocities and kinetic energy. So today up to this. Next we discuss some other